Good morning. So this morning we're going to do a little bit of focus on the arms. I'm going to do a focus on the legs. So with your arms, you've got your accessory muscle. Talking about arms, got accessory muscle in the neck, and that helps you with breathing. And also with the shoulders, if we can be a bit more stronger in the upper body, we've got more chance of being able to do things a little bit more easily indoors, getting dressed, putting shirts on, um, doing up our buttons, and doing our bra, and things like that. So it does help to build up that strength in the arms. So I'm going to do a ready, steady walk class first of all, and I'm going to start by doing a bit of a warm up. So I'm going to take my sturdy chair and imagine that I'm sat back and I'm relaxed, and I'm going to bring my bottom forwards and shift. So the bottom comes forwards and I'm going to shift my weight. That's it, coming into the front third of the chair. And then I'm going to pull my tummy muscle in and shoulders back and down. And I'm going to lengthen this spine. And this is just going to be my active sitting position. Once I'm there, I'm going to start pedaling the feet. So I'll do my toe to heel action, and shoulders are down, and breathing is steady paced. And so I'm lifting up those heels. If you do live with Parkinson's, sometimes we can get freezing in the legs or different parts of the body. So what you can do is, if you have that, is you can do a shift of your weights. So when you shift your weights, that will help to unfreeze a little bit. So you could even shift side to side. I'm going to come back with that pedal with the toes to heels. Nice. So I'm thinking about the ball of foot rolling down to the heel. And next, I'm going to go in for one arm at a time. If you live with heart failure, using both of your arms causes you to get more tired more quicker. So one arm at a time, which is called unilateral movement, will make you feel less fatigued. So I'm going to start by doing a sweep with the arm. So a bit of coordination, isn't it? It's patting the head and rolling and rubbing the stomach. But the elbows coming into the side, the shoulders down. I'm looking ahead and I'm keeping my steady breath. And I could be having a sing song, singing in my head. I could see singing, I hope silver lining everywhere you go now, baby. And then I'm going to come back into my legs again. And this time I'm going to work on a bit of mobility for the shoulders and the arms. So I'll start one hand at a time. I'm going to do a push forwards. I'm going to go out to the side. So I'll take a push, and then I'm going to come out to the side. Push, and I'm going to extend that elbow. And if it's possible, with this arm, you have to be careful about overstretching. You might have a pacemaker fitted, but I'm going to take the arm slightly out in front of me, like that. Then I'm going to take a push forwards, and I'm going to get out in front of me like that. And then I'm going to change over sides. If you find it's a little bit tricky getting the legs moving with your arms, maybe do the toe squeezes in the shoes or heel raises. But I'm going to go for 4 on the other arm. So I'll do that push forwards, and I'm going to come out to the side, taking the push. So from the push is the shoulder and the chest muscle here. And from going out is your middle of your back muscles. So pushing forwards and out to the side. And then I'm coming back into that pedal. So now I'm quite warm. The other thing that I would say to do in between the movements is remember to do your arms. So remember your arms is important because that gets the swing, but that would come a little bit earlier. Shoulders back and down. Coming back into those legs and arms together. And then I'm going to rest my hands on my thighs for a moment. So let's talk about, I'm just going to swivel my chair, not my hair. So let's talk about my head. So these up here is some accessory muscles for breathing. So you have to keep your neck mobile because it supports the structure of your shoulders, of all your other accessory muscles for breathing. So I'm going to start by just turning my head slowly. And I'm going to go over, keep my toes wiggling my shoes, keep my breath steady, come back to the centre, pause. Come the other way, come back to the centre and pause. Coming again back to the centre and pause, and one more. So we do this part of a warm-up as you're seated. You would never do the neck turns. If you had a little bit of dizziness or vertigo, you just wouldn't do them. So just to let you know. But the part of the warm-up, most of us should be feeling okay to do them. So next up, we're going to move into some shoulder shrugs. So as you're there, we're going to start by lifting your shoulders up, and then we're going to draw them back, and then we're going to drop them down. And then I want you to see if you can work on a bit of range of movement. So when I need to take my top off or something like that, then I need to lift up my wrists. Yeah. If you've got one arm which is a bit persistent, then use your other hand to support it. So with one hand, we're going to lightly lift up, and then we're going to take it down. We're going to lightly lift up and take it down. So use that hand for support if you need to. If you don't, then just reach up your arm. Then we're going to do the other side. 4, 3. You might need to use your arm to assist, to come underneath. 2 and 1, and pedaling those feet out. Next we have some trunk movements. So we're going to get the feet a little bit wider, and in fact we'll do our lower back. So hands are on the hips, feet come back, and we're looking forwards, and we're taking a steady breath here, but we want to hold for a few seconds, and then we're going to release. So hands on the bottom or hands on the hips, eye line forwards. We do this to mobilise the lower back, to make things easier, getting stuff out from the pantry. And we'll do one more. Lovely, taking that pedal on the spot. What we'll do is our side bends, so we can come back in the chair if you want to get your back rested just for a minute. But we're going to reach to the side, and do you remember I might have said to you, practice lifting up and lifting down. So one hand on the side, I'm going to reach, keep my eye line forwards. Don't let my ear go to my shoulder. Come back, coming over. I will show you a little bit more of a harder challenge in a moment. Keeping that breath steady. So this is what helps us shift our weight, which is important for gravity. It's important to practice for learning to use your trunk muscles very efficiently. Or you can make it a little bit harder by coming into the front of your chair. And then as you do your side bend, you're going to reach down, come back in, but make sure that if you need to, you've got one hand on the chair. So all the difference is now, I'm just working my core a little bit more. And taking that pedal on the spot for a moment. And then we've got our ankle mobilisers. So walking back in the chair, bum to the chair. I'm going to lift one foot and I'm going to point the toe down and flex the heel. So remember, this is to unstiffen the ankles, and this is to help yeah, with the front of the shin and the back of the shin, the calf muscle. So toe to heel. So 10 minutes has gone past because I did a little bit of talking at the start, didn't I? But we're going to carry on. I'm going to finish up on 20 minutes. So we're going to come forwards. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of a rewarm then if we're back into seated. So we're going to take a little march on the start. We're going to lift those knees a little bit higher, tummy muscles in. And I'm going to go for about 8 of these. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lovely. Okay, so do need to get my my outer thighs working as well. So what I'll do here is I'm going to come into my leg press. Okay, so I'm nice and warm now. I'm going to take my band around the middle of my foot. I'm going to go for 6 just to show you, and then you're going to go for 6 more. So the grip strength, remember we want to try and scrumple in the hands, and it's that ability to get the thumb on top and then scrumple the other fingers. Then we're going to lift up the foot, we're going to bring the band towards the hip, we keep the elbows in, and we're going to push against that resistance. Keeping a steady breath. Thinking about where we're breathing out, and we always encourage you not to hold your breath, to breathe at a steady pace, because it's an involuntary thought from the brain. It's an involuntary thing, an action where we breathe, but we don't think about it. But when you're using the band, a little bit more effort goes in. So there's a little bit more of a thought of consciously, mindfully breathing. I'm going to take that foot from underneath. I'm going to change over sides. It's going to come off the chair there. So band is going to come round the middle of the foot. We're going to get the other foot out the way. We're going to scrumple the band or hold it in ponytails. We're going to lift up. Make sure that leg is secure. Band is going to come to hip, and I'm going to push down, stretch. So that stretch needs to happen, and then the lift needs to come up. What we don't want to do is bring the leg in. We want to actually have, as you lift, that ankle just under the knee there. The other foot, as you can see, I've just corrected it because it needed to be supportive. So once you've done a set of those, have a little bit of break if you need to, but then do another set. So next up, we are looking at our outer thighs, okay? So what we're going to do here is for a ready, steady walk, we're going to bring those bands underneath the feet. Now I've got a new one for you today. So under the middle of the feet, and we're going to hold the bands towards the hips again. So you can either scrumple or take those ponytails. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do banded seated walks. My feet are hip width apart. I'm then going to try and lift my foot up and put it back down. So you want to have the band under the middle of the foot, and you're going to lift and you're going to place it back down. So you're working against that resistance. You're trying to lift that band up just a little bit. So you're extending the band towards the side. So these side muscles of my legs, they help stabilise my sideways walking, but also they stabilise my pelvis. Good, coming back, and I'm going to bring that band from underneath my heels. So take a moment if you need to. We're going to come into our outer thigh strengthener. So we fold the bands, we get the legs together, and we place the bands over the legs. So your aim is not to roll the ankles out and hold out for a count of 5. So I've got it secured around my legs, tummy muscles are in, my back is straight. I'm coming out. I'm trying not to lift those feet too much. A little bit will lift, but not too much. I'm going to go for 8. Breathing out. Breathing in. Thinking about how strong those side of the legs will get. Making your pelvis stable. is so important, because it makes up connection with that spine. And in the second video in Stronger for Longer, we're going to show you how to go from shifting your weight into out of thigh balance. So short pedal the spot. And now we've got one of the most important exercises coming up as well. They're all important, by the way. But your bicep curls. So you've got bones, even by turning your palm up, your bones, your radius and your ulnar bone, they come together. So one of the common fractures is when we put our hand out. The fracture can be on the arm. It's important to keep this arm strong. So we're going to take the band underneath, and we're going to place our feet onto the band. So you can see it's a bit far away from me there. So I'm just going to put the band back on. I'm going to hold onto the side, and I want to curl up towards my shoulder, keep the toes wiggling. So you're working that arm here. And I'm going to shout out some things that I do when I get dressed to work my curls here. So we're going to go up for a count of 3 as we curl, keeping the elbow in, and then we'll come back down. And what I'm going to do is focusing on exhaling as I come up. As long as you're breathing steady, that's all that matters. For some of us, we might be breathing in through our nose and breathing out through our nose. And some of you might be breathing into your tummy. But one of the things to remember when you're doing that conscious breathing, you're thinking about a bit more steady, because you're using that band. As you breathe in, your belly rises a little bit. As you breathe out, it comes back down. And whether we're doing nasal breathing, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, if you just focus on the lower part of the chest, near the belly, that's where we can see when we're breathing. We're breathing consciously. But as I said, it's an involuntary movement, action of the brain, so just do it anyway. So feet are going to come onto the short part of the band, and here's where I'm going to say the things that I do to when I get dressed. Combing my hair, washing my hair, pulling my trousers up. So there's 3 of them. So all of these actions involve these muscles, but they're not just that. They also involve picking up your pillow, adjusting it. They also involve you being able to put your hands down and move yourself out of position. So it's a very good muscle to keep strong. And remember, you can build those bones up in your arms just by doing your arm curls, but you've got to be trying to get 2 or 3 sets of 6 to 8 in, and also do it when you're warm. So when you've done your warm up, after you've done your legs, that's where it's important. So next up, we're going to keep the feet under here, and we're going to pull back. So I'm going to keep my feet in the position. I'm just going to pull that arm back, okay? So there's 1 or 2 things you can do here. You can either row. So I'm going to adjust the band, take my feet a bit further, and you can row in and row back. Yeah, so that would be a slightly easier option. So this might be best for me if I've had a rotator cuff injury, frozen shoulder, you know, well, got to be very careful. It's probably just mobility there, but not using the band. Or if I feel comfortable to, I might bring that arm back straight. So my knuckles coming to the side. I'm thinking about taking the breath out, taking that breath back in. So see if you can do 6 of these or 6 of these. So both of them work your tricep. So your tricep is the back of your arm here, and that is responsible for pressing yourself out of position, any pushing motions, things like that. So I'm going to take the band in the other foot and I'm going to step on it and take my hand onto the other side. So again, drawing the tummy muscles in, I'm going to draw the arm back for that row. Keeping my breath nice and steady again. And then I'm going to bring the arm back. So the bending elbow is that elbow coming back. So you're bringing the elbow into the side, then you're squeezing forwards. I'm going to try and attempt to do 6, keeping my arm into my side. I'm just bringing myself around a bit more so that you can see. So the arm stays into my side here, doesn't go out. And I'll do a couple more there. And I think that's it for today. So we're going to pedal ourselves out. We've done 21 minutes of Ready Steady Walk. Obviously, when you're doing it from home, I tend to do the 20 minutes seated for health and safety. You don't have to set up at home, and obviously we see you in the class. The Stronger for Longer, I'll be doing a little bit of seated and standing. And again, trying to aim it for 20-25 minutes because that's probably enough. So we're going to start to just take a little pedal on the spot. Just take a little bit of a cool down now. We'll aim to finish in a few minutes. And we'll have some shoulders back and down. And releasing. Good. So nice. We did those arms, which is lovely. So I'm going to focus on that row tomorrow. Yeah, so I would even add in a bit later, maybe tomorrow or something like that after you've done your warm-up, is your upper back strengthener, because that's really important. But today was about also about how you are. How's your strength in either side? It's about that balance of strength. How is it? So that's good. That's important to know. What side is stronger? You'd be feeling that with your leg presses as well. And we're going to walk ourselves back in the chair. So have your back rested, lift your foot, bring your toe forwards, flex your heel back down. And I'm just going to draw my name, 3 letters, Lou, L, O, U. Look at that. Then I'm going to take the other foot, point the toe down, flex the heel back. So remember, these movements are really important. You could be doing them for 1 minute while you're waiting for the tea or something like that. But try to do them as much as you can. Then I'm going to go for that down, cross, O, and then U. Nice. And then place it back down. Remember, before you're coming up as well, like a bit of a 1 minute rule, get your feet pedaling, yeah, and then come into standing. Calf stretch. So here we go. So leg comes forwards, toes up to ceiling, lift up from the waist. Keep nice, steady breath. I'm going to hold it for around 15 seconds. And then we're going to relax our foot, and then this is the hinge. So this is the back of the thigh, which is very important to keep that flexion as we're moving day to day. And then changing legs, toe up to the ceiling, other foot comes underneath, and we're lifting up from the waist, that calf stretch. And then we're going to come and relax that foot. And then we're going to come forward, so hinging at the waist a little bit. So your head is still above your heart. And then we're going to do a pedal. So remember, before you come up, another stretch you can do is your wide leg stretch. So just legs coming out slightly, hands slightly in the thighs. And we're just going to sit up, just 10 seconds. Keep the breathing natural. Lovely. And when you're ready, take a short pedal on the spot for a minute. And then judge for yourself to come back up. So when I do come up, heels are going to come back into standing, Feet are going to be hip width apart. I'll use my arms this time. Chest raises, chest long slightly forwards. Press those feet down, the whole lot. 1, 2, 3, and pedal on the spot. You can't see my head now. But then I'm coming over for a walk, and I'm going to do our Stronger for Longer class. Have a good day.